Well, as you can see outside, it is certainly not riding weather yet. It's the middle of March and it is still snowing like crazy outside. And we're going to continue now on the video I started last summer where I was tearing down my dad's bike that he doesn't want anymore. And this is a bike that my dad and I shared when I was a teenager. So I got a lot of memories of ripping this thing down to a beach party and over to a friend's house and off to visit some girls and all that kind of stuff. Lots of cool memories tied to this bike. And we're down here in the basement. And as you can see, I'm a little hunched over because this basement is not made for a guy of my height. But here is my bike, and right now I just got the rear wheel mounted on just so I could hang it, and I've got the cassette on, and the front forks and wheel are over here. And the time has finally come to build this baby up into the beast that I know it can be. So we're gonna lug this stuff upstairs, and we're gonna finish this video off and get this bike built this week. All right, so the only thing I've accomplished till this point is removing all the rust, all the surface rust and clear coating, and I've just left the spots that are clear coated. I kind of like this this raw look, and you can tell that this is an older bike that's been rebuilt, which is exactly the look I'm going for. All right, the goal for today is to get the bottom bracket mounted for the crankset and to ensure that I have the right headset and to get that pressed in. So let's get to work. Okay, so here are all the remaining parts that need to go on the bike. I'm doing a full SRAM GX 1x11 group set. And I've swapped out from cantilever brakes to some V brakes because they're just easier to work on and I don't have the right mounts on the bike anymore. So let's keep trucking along and let's see if we can put this crankset in. Time to use the old homemade headset installer, which is just threaded rod and some washers, and we're going to press this thing in. All right, definitely time to get a wrench involved. All right, something very unusual has happened. It went together first try, no problem. I even had the wrench that fits. Why is this happening? Usually everything goes wrong for me. Anybody, look, I've built a lot of bikes, but I certainly don't have the experience that some guys have that are constantly building up bikes. So one of the issues I've had is, you may have seen in several of my videos over the last year, is the wrong part. I think it's the right part that's going to fit, and then I get it and it doesn't fit. And essentially, this bike is being built out of all the mistake parts I bought from my other bikes. But look at this. Went in, nice and smooth. It's the right fit. Okay. Well, let's see if we can get the stem into this thing, and I don't know, we'll take it from there. All right, I don't know how well this is gonna work. So I've got this rigged up with this profile quill stem. All seems to be working. There is a bit of a gap here, but I'm hoping once these pinch bolts are tightened down that this actually stays in place. Keep in mind, I'm not gonna be jumping this bike or anything. This thing's just built for cruising and wheelies. And hopefully that's enough, but that's so far, so good. Looks all right. Nice and smooth. Can't complain. It's the way it should look. Is it going to work? We're going to find out. Let's see if I can get the bottom bracket installed with the crankset. I accomplished even more than I thought I would today. So wheels are in and I do have enough clearance, so that's good. Same with the back tire here. Lots of clearance, so no problem there. Boy, they look sharp. Even threw on the two-piece handlebars that I took off of my 29er BMX. And I think the seat's going to be a problem because that is the only angle. That's the style of seat these BMXs are, and there's no way to adjust the angle. So I think that may not work. I may have to look at a different seat for the bike, but so far, all the components that I was concerned about, bottom bracket, tires, and my headset over here, at least at this point, everything is fitting nicely and working. So we're gonna leave the bike like that for now, and then later in the week, I've set aside a couple of afternoons to finish this thing off. Well, I didn't show you the rest of the boring stuff like running the brake cables and all of that, but I did run into a problem, and it was not the right bottom bracket for the bike. So it needs a GPX, I believe they said, bottom bracket. So essentially the problem is the GX crankset I had tapers from, I think they said 24 to 22 mil. So you need a very specific bottom bracket for that crankset to work. But just got back from the bike shop. Big thanks to Downtown Bike Hounds here in Hamilton for finishing up, putting the last finishing touches on the ride and getting ready to go. And it's here and it's ready to go, and I'm gonna go take it for a test ride. Let's take a look at the finished product. All right, what can I say about this thing? It's the best! Right off the bat, this thing wheelies actually better than my Radio 29er. Right away, geometry just feels better. At a 26er, it feels like a better size for me versus the 29er, where I felt like I was fighting the bike. And now I feel like I'm well in control and riding the bike instead of the bike sort of controlling me. Little long on the geometry, so bunny hopping is going to take a little while to get used to get bunny hops nice, but I can bunny hop it already better than I could bunny hop the 29er. And just nostalgia wise, I'm super stoked to have this bike. So all right, in the next couple of weeks as the weather gets nicer, I'm going to head out for some more rides and get some clips, but that's it. Poppa's bike has been rebuilt, reborn, and it's ready to go. Super stoked.